What's going on, guys? Welcome to Everything Always. My name's Michael Roman, aka Allfires. Now, it may feel a tad bit early to start talking about the next major Marvel crossover event in Secret Wars. Remember, Avengers Infinity War and Avengers Endgame took 10 and 11 years to build, respectively, until they were able to finish the Infinity Saga. And if you account for the pandemic, we're only about a year and a half into Marvel Phase 4 right now. But with the doubling in production from Marvel Studios, the amount of new characters and shows they're putting out every year, compared to when they started the Infinity Saga, it would stand to reason that we're going to approach Secret Wars a lot faster. And that's where we find ourselves today after the release of the most recent Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, where not only are the Secret Wars Easter eggs per capita Marvel movie really starting to pile up, but just since the movie's release 2 weeks ago, we have a ton of industry insider reports across the industry, several sources, everything from when we can expect to see Secret Wars released in the MCU to why and how it may look very different from what we expect from the comics, and who the big bad may be in lieu of it not being Doctor Doom. We're breaking down just the most recent reports about Secret Wars on the heels of Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. But first, if you could grab the subscribe button, we do daily Marvel content at the channel, and that's all we do. Everything from official Easter egg breakdowns, trailers, and reviews to the occasional industry insider scoop like we're covering today, and everything in between. So if that sort of thing's for you, hit the subscribe button, leave a comment down below. That will automatically enter you to win our ongoing PS5 giveaway. If you want, stick around to the end of the video. We'll get into all the giveaway stuff again there. Okay, so the very first industry insider we're going to cover is Great Phase over on his Twitter at GreatPhase15, a brand new industry insider in the sense that we've been reporting on him here at the channel, but is also followed by some other trusted industry insider sources that I follow and we report on as well. Indicated via his Twitter yesterday that Secret Wars would be released most likely in 2026. Now, before you jump in to say that's impossible, how can anybody know that that's so far away? I'd like to remind you, as is public record and archived here at the channel, we were scooping a live action Into the Spider-Verse with Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield alongside Tom Holland as early as December of 2018, and then held on to that reporting all the way for 3 years until it happened in December of 2021. Now, the next industry insider to weigh in was in response to a tweet somebody saying about Burning King as the big bad in Ant-Man 3 Quantumania, when he should go on to be the big bad during this Secret Wars or Multiversal War, which we'll get to in a second, to which Daniel Rickman replied, that's kind of the point. We're going to see Kang as a major big bad in several upcoming films across the multiverse. That's part of there being many variants. I also mentioned I'm suspecting we're going to see him showing up in the animated universe at the exact same time we're seeing him show up in live action, just a sort of sense of Kang across all planes in this huge war. And then, almost as if cue, but from a completely different industry insider and for a completely different conversation, weighing in saying that the Secret Wars battle world with Doctor Doom, that version either from the 80s or from this century that we think we're getting, is not the Secret Wars we're getting at all. His tweet says that point blank and implores us to watch Loki again, which I assume is pointing to that one scene that deals with the multiversal war, which is actually something quite different than Secret Wars Battle World. I've said many times here at the channel, if they didn't plan on doing Secret Wars Battle World with Doctor Doom and something else with Kang, they would sort of set themselves up to omit Doctor Doom and Secret Wars Battle World, that version of the story altogether, because you can't go from one multiversal saga to another multiversal saga that takes a decade or a half decade to build to without it feeling amazingly redundant. I was hoping they were going to find a way to use the two, and I would much prefer God King Doom Emperor Secret Wars Battle World, the one from this century. I'd even take the one from the 80s over a Kang multiversal war. That being said, it certainly looks like it's a Kang multiversal war. They may call it Secret Wars, but it doesn't look like they're going to follow the storyline at all. And if you're immediately going to get disappointed, don't. Because there was a time when I thought there's no way they could do any sort of justice to an Infinity Saga, like an Infinity War, and not have Adam Warlock. To me, he was half of the story that made sense against Thanos. The dichotomy there is everything to me that the original Infinity storyline was about, and they didn't have that character at all. I was certain he was going to show up, and they didn't use him at all. So in that way, Marvel Studios has always borrowed details from certain villains, from certain storylines, interpolated them the way they want to build out their own story. And it looks as though they're going to do that, which really centers Kang now as that multiple big bad, as Daniel Rickman was saying in his update, and using all of these immediate and synchronicitous industry insider reports, as I often have done here at the channel to paint a picture, certainly makes it look like a bunch of Kang showing up in a bunch of places between now and whenever we get the Marvel Studios Secret Wars, which really, that's the major takeaway from all of these industry insiders. And the way that we should start thinking about this is that there may be a Marvel Studios Secret Wars on the horizon, but much in the way Infinity War and Avengers Endgame was a Marvel Studios cinematic story with some borrowed elements and names, that's how this Secret Wars is going to look as well, not a one-to-one analog from Battleworld and God King Doom that we expected from the comics. Now, I know we haven't really scratched the surface of some of these Easter eggs here at the channel. We will in the coming weeks. Right now, I'm still trying to work on an overarching theory of everything an Easter egg from the earliest part of the Infinity Saga that foretold all of this. But while I work on that, the biggest Easter egg, the one that is not even hiding in plain sight, that they introduced in the middle of Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, is of course the word incursion. And if you're not familiar with incursions in the Marvel Universe in the comics, I familiarize yourself, because if they take anything from the comics and how that works, it's going to be sort of a domino effect. One of these can't happen without a pendulum effect or a cascading effect where it starts to happen all over the place, as we saw with the end of Loki, very poignantly drawn out for us in CGI with the branching of the multiverse in every direction. Once one of these starts, it's a ripple effect that can't stop. You have to stop it all at once and bring it together. And much like the way that string theory holds this together in real-world quantum physics, Marvel Studios has held some of those original principles like the conservation of mass, and we saw that addressed at the end of Loki with Kang weaponizing Goliath to take care of those loose ends. As we wade into this multiverse, I would argue that it already started and it's always been going. Yes, think of Billy Joel, we didn't start the fire. Did I just age myself? Pretty sure I just aged myself in the room. That honestly, Kang, He Who Remains, was just one of the points along the way as they continuously try to end this multiversal war that started way back in the past, way far in the future. See why this is so complicated? We are going to cover all of that in the coming weeks here at the channel. I've been struggling with this theory because it's sort of difficult to explain when you have things like the dark dimension and or the quantum realm that are outside of time. Then time as a linear shape doesn't really make sense. You've got to think of it in the circle as it was presented at the end of Loki, which means that they've always been fighting this war and they always will be. Super complicated. We'll get there. We have a lot of time between now and then, and obviously a lot of new details to come forward in the MCU. But now that we all sort of know what we're looking at, it actually makes me super hype and excited, and it sort of sets up the direction now with Marvel Studios for Phase 4 and Phase 5, where we're going with all this. Guys, let me know all your thoughts down in the comments below. Kang or Doctor Doom? Who you got? And quickly, let's get into the giveaway stuff before I let you go. Okay, we're still giving away PlayStation 5s. Every 20,000 subscribers, all the way up to 1 million. We are about to ding the next subscriber milestone at 960. So if you want to be entered to win or for any of the other giveaways here at the channel, all you have to do, hit the subscribe button, then leave a comment down below. And because it's truly random, the more videos you comment on, the better chance you have of winning. All winners will be announced at the end of videos, the same way we're doing here. The best way to keep up with the content has always been to hit the notification bell with all notifications turned on. And as always, if you liked today's video, I'd appreciate it if you'd hit the like button. My name's Michael Roman. You can find me over on Instagram and Twitter at IamFires. You can also find me on Spotify, YouTube, Amazon, Apple, iTunes under the name AllFires, and I appreciate you checking that out. But I also appreciate you checking this channel out, and if you liked today's video, I really appreciate you hitting the like button. Stick around. We'll be posting again real soon.